Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Guitar Bucket List. I'm Jim Fusco, and this is my Epiphone Wildkat electric guitar. This is a semi-hollow body electric guitar, and how I got it was kind of an interesting thing. I was looking for a birthday present for my brother and just kind of scouring the guitar section. This is a long time ago, probably 10, 15 years ago easily. And I came across this guitar that was on clearance, say a musician's friend or something like that. And I noticed that the clearance price was kind of unbelievable. It was like $225. And I was like, I have to buy this for him. It's beautiful. It's in this beautiful black pearl finish, and it's got this, I don't know if you could see it on there, but it's got a sparkle binding on it that you just don't really see on a lot of guitars outside of Gretsch. And we have some quality control things we'll talk about with that in a little bit, but back to the story. The guitar was such a great deal that I had to buy another one. I bought one for myself too, because I just couldn't pass it up. And we've loved this thing. He loves his, I love mine. I don't play it as much as I probably should, mostly because it's loud when you play it, because it's semi-acoustic here with that center block running down the middle. But, and usually when I'm playing, it's when we're watching TV or something like that. So I don't really want to make any more noise than I'm already making when we're watching TV. So this guitar here has a few really cool features that kind of set it apart, but it does check one new thing off of the bucket list, and it's this right here. P-90 pickups inside of a semi-hollow guitar or hollow body guitar. I also have one that we'll do a video on eventually. That's the Epiphone Casino, and that one is a totally hollow body guitar that doesn't have the center block. This one does have the center block, so it's got that kind of semi-hollow sound to it where it's got a little more airiness, but not as much feedback. We'll try to hear a little bit of that when we go do the playing sample. So this one here also has something that was on the list but checked off by another model, and that's the Bigsby tailpiece. And this one is kind of featured in a really cool black pearl color, as I mentioned, with that sparkle binding. It has this headstock emblem that I really love. It's so unique. It doesn't, to me, make it look like it's a knockoff Gibson or something along those lines. It really just has its own look, and it's very retro. Just love the overall look of this thing, and it's just very blingy, clearly. But let's get to some of the other things that I don't necessarily love about how it was constructed. So when you get right up into it with the binding and everything, I've cleaned this thing up so many times over the years. And what they did was kind of noble. They did binding on the inside of the F-holes, and if done properly, would look amazing. But what, in actuality, it's all covered in whatever glue that they used, which kind of was either tinted or has yellowed a bit over time, and it's kind of dull and caked on. And I've cleaned that thing up. I've gone in with files and sandpaper, and it looks a lot better now. Even if I were to send a picture up here, it wouldn't really capture what it used to look like. So it's better now, but really the binding needed a lot of work. The other thing that continues to drive me crazy to this day is the fretboard. It is a rosewood fretboard, I believe, and I cannot, no matter how many times I condition this board, it never gets away from very quickly turning back to this ashy gray look that it has to it. I'm not exactly sure why. It doesn't feel like there's any finish over the top of it. I've done the full deluxe fret polish and everything to really make this thing play great now, but it just always has that dry fretboard look, and it's really a shame because it's otherwise such a beautiful instrument. And in case I didn't show the back, it's all that black pearl on the back. It does have something here that I thought was kind of interesting. It says limited edition Epiphone custom shop. Clearly that's a bit of marketing. I don't think Epiphone has a custom shop that's separate from their normal production line. But it always kind of made me feel good about this thing to say like, hey, it's not just your run-of-the-mill Wildkat or any other model that they made. And although I have to say, the yellow Wildkats with the flame top, those do look really cool. This one also kind of is unique in the Epiphone or Gibson world because of this right here, which is the master volume. And you just don't see that on a lot of Gibsons or Epiphones. This is more of a Gretsch thing. So having that kind of, to me, lends itself to be more of a retro guitar, that semi-hollow, kind of jazzy look that I really love, even though it's not necessarily the music that I play. And to me, this is probably going for Epiphone's take on a Gretsch rather than Epiphone's take on a Gibson, which is what they normally do. So kind of interesting, and it's a great weight for it. The neck is not super slim, but definitely on the slimmer side of things. Kind of more of that Epiphone D-shape neck. But it sounds really great. The P-90s sound good. I have no intention of switching these things out. And let's just plug it in and hear how it sounds. We'll play a couple things that might have to do with this logo here. The Epiphone Wildkat checked one item off the bucket list. That's P-90 pickups and a semi-hollow body guitar. That brings us up to 57 out of 65 items. Make sure to check out guitarbucketlist.com for all the latest updates.